Hey, if you've been thinking about moving to Alameda or want to know more about our island city, I want to introduce you to the other island, Bay Farm Island. Now, Bay Farm is not really an island, it's sort of a peninsula off of Oakland, but this island has two histories. Bay Farm Island is the original island that was here, and there were actually farms. Bay Farm was also called Asparagus Island, and it had many oyster beds that supplied restaurants in San Francisco. My name is Philip Kaake, and I'm with Compass Real Estate here in Alameda. In this video, I'm going to give you a little history and show you some of the great amenities and parts of living here, walk you through some of the housing mix and what it costs to buy or rent here, and give you some honest feedback on the downsides of living here. So let's start with a little history. Two names, one landmass. Bay Farm Island is the original farming community that's been here since the 1850s. Harbor Bay Isle is the master planned community built out on landfill starting in the mid-1970s. Locals use the names almost interchangeably now. Bay Farm Island is connected via the Bay Farm Bridge to the main island of Alameda, and it is separated from the rest of Oakland by Doolittle Drive, which runs down to the Oakland Airport. Shopping. The landing at Island Drive and McCartney Road is the only shopping center on the island. Anchored by a Safeway, it also has a mix of restaurants and other shops. We do have a new Starbucks here, which is very popular with the drive-through set. Either way, you're just a short drive from the main island shopping or South Shore Center. Let's cover getting around on foot or bike. On the Harbor Bay side, a paved multi-use path runs along the lagoons and the edge of the shoreline. The interior lagoon paths are more sheltered. They have bridges that cross over the lagoons in sections, which makes for kind of a fun and whimsical way to cross the lagoons. The outer path along the shoreline is part of a roughly 6-mile loop around the whole peninsula, and it is one of the most used amenities here for walking, running, and commuting by bike. Plus, it has fantastic views of San Francisco. This is probably one of my favorite parts of Bay Farm. I love coming out here and walking my dog or riding my bike on this path. Let's talk a little bit about some of the parks. Both sides share a handful of well-kept neighborhood parks. Godfrey, Shoreline, Tillman, and Lydecker among them. Plus, there are many small parklets throughout the green spaces that run between some of the neighborhoods of the Harbor Bay developments. These green spaces make for more protected strolling in the neighborhood. Golfers also have Kaake Park, a 36-hole right on the island, which has operated continuously since 1927. And there's a restaurant if you want to come sit and enjoy the view of the course at Jim's. If you have kids in schools, the island is served by two Alameda Unified Elementary Schools, Bay Farm School and Earhart Elementary. Both A-rated, they feed into Lincoln Middle School and Alameda High. And then there is the Harbor Bay Club, which has a large pool, classes, and tennis courts. It's a private membership club on 10 waterfront acres. Let's talk about the original Bay Farm. This is the section that predates the Harbor Bay. A handful of farming families held onto their land into the 1950s and 60s. When they finally sold, what went up was a mix, not one master plan, several small ones stitched together. What you'll find are pockets of true mid-century ranch homes, mostly single-story, dating back to the 1950s and 60s, plus a small number going back even further into the 1920s, including a few original farmhouses that are still standing. There are also 3 original townhome communities from the 1960s and 70s, Garden Isle, Casitas, and Islandia. These have large green spaces between them and give them a park-like feel. There are a variety of other townhomes throughout the Harbor Bay developments, some with bay views. Everything east and south of that original core is Harbor Bay Isle, built out over roughly 2 decades, starting in 1976. And it's genuinely a different animal in terms of construction, quality, lot size, and layout. There are 17 separate homeowners associations here, and they break down into the same 3 buckets: single family, townhome, and condo. Most of the detached homes were built from 1980 onward on wider lots with wide sidewalk-lined streets, attached 2-car garages, and in some pockets direct lagoon frontage with private docks. And some select homes have bay views. So let's talk a little bit about the market, what homes are actually selling for, what it costs to live here if you're thinking about buying. Single-family homes sold anywhere from $838,000 up to $2.3 million. Looking just at the last 12 months, the median landed at $1.45 million. The homes in the Harbor Bay developments generally sell for more than the homes in the older parts of Bay Farm. Lagoon and Bayview homes generally land on the higher end of this range, and there is a small development of custom homes as well right along the shoreline path. Townhomes range from $689,000 to just over $1.5 million. The median over the last 12 months came in at $880,000. Condos range from $525,000 to $1 million. If you're interested in finding out more about the market here, I'm happy to talk and be a resource. Also at Compass, we have coming soon and private exclusives that you won't see anywhere else. If you're interested in finding out more about those, you can give me a call, send me a text or an email. I'm happy to talk. If you're thinking of moving here and you're not ready to buy, here are some general ranges for homes and apartments. These are more generally for all of Alameda, not necessarily specific to Bay Farm. On the apartment side, studios and one bedrooms across Alameda generally run somewhere in the $2,300 to $2,900 range, with two bedrooms more like $2,700 to $3,300, though you'll see listings both above and below that depending on the building and how recently it's been updated. For single family home rentals, run higher, typically starting around $3,500 and climbing well past $5,000. Getting off the island for drivers is a short hop across the Bay Farm Island Bridge to the rest of Alameda and onto Oakland. For transit, the closest BART station is Fruitvale. It's probably like a 10 to 15 minute drive or bus ride on AC Transit, which runs a direct line between the Harbor Bay Ferry Terminal and Fruitvale BART. And then there's the ferry itself. The Harbor Bay Ferry Terminal runs weekday service straight to San Francisco Ferry Building, about a 25-minute crossing, with morning departures roughly every 30 minutes starting around 6:15. For anyone commuting to the peninsula, the ferry connects to the ferry building, to Muni, BART, and Caltrain, so it is a genuinely useful option if your job isn't in downtown San Francisco. Driving to San Francisco, you're looking at roughly 25 to 40 minutes outside of rush hour on 880, and the Bay Bridge during peak commute times can stretch to an hour or more. Heading down to Silicon Valley on 880 south, figure around 40 minutes to Palo Alto or San Jose with light traffic, but that can climb to well over an hour or more during a bad rush hour. What I really like about Bay Farm is it's generally calmer with less traffic. Not that the main island is a bustling metropolis, it just feels a little quieter here. So here are a few of the downsides to living in this part of Alameda. There's not really a lot of shopping here other than what is at the landing. There's not as much going on activity-wise on Bay Farm as there is on the main island. Commuting is a little more challenging if you're going to the freeway system because it's just a little further away from the major artery of 880. Depending on where you are in Bay Farm, you can hear noise from the Oakland Airport and the private airport just across from the golf course. Harbor Bay developments are also built on landfill, and this part of Alameda sits close to sea level rise. The homes closest to the Bayview Pass can get pretty windy, so you may not enjoy the outdoor part of these as much as you can imagine. Hey, if you enjoyed the video, I hope you'll share it. I always appreciate hearing your comments. And if you want to see more from this channel, please subscribe. My name is Philip Kaake, and I'm with Compass Real Estate here in Alameda, and I've been helping people here in Alameda and the East Bay for over 20 years. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.